everybody, and welcome to His Lens, My Image podcast. I am your host, Myesha Price, and today's discussion we're going to have is talking about fight versus flight. I realize that sometimes in life, it seems that it's easier for us to run away from a situation versus facing it head on. And when we do that, we do not allow ourselves to actually heal, move forward, progress, and become better at that situation. So when I think about this fight versus flight situation, not too long ago, I had a situation where I was at a crossroads and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I've been sitting here praying to God and asking God for an answer and talking and getting counseling and getting therapy left and right and trying to find the best solution to help me make the wisest decision. And it wasn't until a friend of mine had sent me a song, and it was a piece of the song that captivated and caught my attention. And the line says, "Not one mistake can undo God's grace." And when I thought about that and it pondered as the song was on constant repeat in my ears as I was cooking, it started to just literally break me down, because a lot of times we get mad when people don't do the things that we want them to do, or they let us down. Sometimes, growing up, our parents let us down, or our parents wasn't present, or, we've been in situations, failed relationships and marriages and all that kind of stuff, or life just really has kicked our behind. But I've learned that in all of that, we have got to be able to extend a level of grace, because God gives us new grace and new mercy daily, despite all the wrong that we do, despite how we never get it right sometimes. And he has to keep sending us through the same test over and over again just for us to get it. And he's so gracious and so loving that he gives it to us, give us new mercies every day. And that as we go about and we make those same errors, guess what? We repent to him. We come with a different mindset and say, okay, God, I'm sorry, I didn't get it right. And then he takes that, and then you turn around, and then we find ourselves doing it again. And God forgives us and loves us still. But yet when somebody does us wrong, it's very hard for us to find that measure of grace. I don't know who I may be talking to, but I can speak for myself. I am a stubborn cookie. And when somebody wrongs me, or I feel wrong, or you do something that hurts me to my core, and it takes a lot to get me to that point. But when I'm done with you, I'm done. And the only thing that can get you back in good graces with me is the mighty hand of God. I don't know. It's just, it's been my personality. It's just been who I am. But I'm working on it. I'm being intentional about being better in that particular area. So when I think about fight versus flight, the dictionary tells us that fighting means to endure vigorously to win. Flight tells us that the action of fleeing or attempting to escape. What is it in your life that you're trying to escape instead of vigorously fighting through it to win? Because when you fight for something and you put in the work and the efforts to see it through, and you believe that the greater is on the other side, that the reward on the other side of what you're dealing with right now, that reward is going to be greater, what is it that keeps us from fighting, that helps us and really makes us think being a flight risk is a better place to be? You don't want to be a flight risk in life. You're never honing down or putting any roots anywhere because you're always on the constant run or moving around all the time, but never considering what kind of damage you are doing, not just to yourself, but to all the people that you hurt along the journey. So what is it in your life that you are running from, that you are fleeing from? Because I'm here to tell you, flighting only gives you a temporary relief when fighting through it produces a lasting change. Let me say that again. Flight through any situation gives you a temporary relief from the problem. But when you put in the work and you fight through it, it produces a lasting change. Because now you got something invested. Your time, your sweat, your strength, your prayers, your pain is now been invested in this battle. And now you have something to lean on when things get rough, like, I worked too hard for this. To let something or somebody come in and destroy what you worked hard for. A lot of times you hear people talk about how, people give stuff to their kids and they don't appreciate it. And a lot of times they don't appreciate it because they never had to work for it. But let them get their first little job and they got to pay for their own stuff, their own clothes, their own food. Or better yet, don't let them get a car. They get a car and realize that they got to pay for gas. And some parents make the kids pay for insurance and everything else. And they realize that stuff costs. They're like, oh, now they got a different perspective about wasting gas, turn on the AC. When you got to pay your own bills in your house, you very careful how many lights you leave on. Because when you live in somebody else's property and you don't pay no money, you'll leave every light on in the house. Not thinking that this comes out of somebody's pocket, that these lights continue to stay on. But we don't look at that. We don't look at it when we don't have anything invested in it. So when you have something invested in the fight, you look at it totally different. You say, you know what? No, I'm not going to let nothing knock me off my block. I'm not going to let nothing keep me from doing and accomplishing that which I've set forth out to do. So even if you do the event or you plan the party and you get only a handful of people there, don't be discouraged. That's just the beginning. That's just the work equity that you're putting into the fight. But in its due season, it will flourish. It will prosper. That it will do. So now it's time for us to stop running. Stop running and pick up our hands and work. One thing that I remember is that I know that sometimes when you're in the fight, it can get very overwhelming. It can become mentally taxing. And sometimes we just simply burnt out and we like, I can't do this no more. You done cried every tear you can cry. You have eaten every comfort meal you can find. You done picked up an extra 15 pounds and you're not even realizing that it's all an emotional eating, but you're just trying to find a way to cope with what you got to deal with. But guess what? Today's a new day. Today is a new day for you to look at that situation differently. Today is a new day for you to turn your eyes towards heaven and ask God to direct your feet, direct your hands, direct your thoughts. And let him lead you down a path to accomplish so that way you can endure in this battle and that this battle not overtake you. It is my heart's desire for everyone to live out their God-given purpose. And I know with doing that comes with challenges. Everything is not always going to be easy. Every day is not going to be a bed of roses. But one thing for sure, that it all will be worth it. So today I want you to choose to fight, not to flight. And before I go, I want to leave you with this quote. Came from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It says, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and conveniency, but where he stands at times of challenges of adversity. How are you going to choose to stand today? Are you going to choose to run? Are you going to choose to hide? Listen, it don't matter where you go. You can move to another state and think your situation is going to get different, and it's not. The same problems you have here will follow you there. You can get into a new relationship and think because you're in a new relationship that this one's going to be better. If you don't deal with the hurt and the pain from the first 1, 2, 3, 4, don't expect that baggage, that unhealed baggage is not going to travel with you into this next area. And sometimes we run good people off because we don't want to deal and face our challenges and face us. Listen, looking in the mirror is not an easy thing to do. And yes, it can be very intimidating to see your flaws and to look at you and examine yourself and know that, guess what? I'm a flawed individual and I need help. It's nothing wrong with that. But guess what? If you don't put in the work, if you don't take that opportunity, get a therapist. Let them help you unpack that stuff that is weighing you down in your life. Not only get a therapist, maybe you need to get involved with some kind of social group so that way it help you to be more sociable and not be so closed off and isolate yourself, to leave yourself with your own thoughts, but allow yourself to be free and live. My heart's desire is that you live in your purpose. My heart's desire is that you be free from your pain. My heart's desire is that you learn how to stand in adversity's face and tell it, giant, you must move, but never letting adversity tell you that you can't do this. So remember to fight, not flight. And before I go, I want to say to all those people who are business owners who are currently looking to get into business or currently working for someone else, I want you to know that we are having an event this upcoming Friday on May the 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Relic on State Street in Newtown, Pennsylvania. You can visit any one of our social media pages. It will have all the detailed information. Listen, if you're coming, there will be no tickets sold at the door. So you need to get your tickets by Thursday so that way we can have you in the number. This is a network and chew event. We want to socialize. We want to network. We want to help each other build each other's brand and support one another in our journey. So invite your friends. If it's you, invite your co-workers. Come join us on that evening. It's only $25. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have good food and good conversation. And you can visit my website at www.myeshaprice.com, or you can go on Eventbrite and type in Network and Chew. You'll see my face pop up, and we'll be able to help you get to that and get your ticket for that event. Thank you for joining in this episode, and I pray that you guys have an amazing week. And always remember to be you, love you, and see you for who God has called you to be.